Debunking anti-vax propaganda. There is so much wrong with this video. It should not be necessary to spell out why it's not credible. However, it has gained so much traction, it is worth spending time to debunk the misinformation.
Right, people, we have a bit of information. I want you to listen, hear this incredibly well. This is a fact. I want you to share this everywhere. I want you to screen grab it. I want you to copy it, whatever it takes, because they will take this down. This is fact. Share to all of your Bible groups or anybody else that doesn't want aborted fetal tissue fragments put into them or their DNA changed. This is a fact.
This is just sensational fearmongering. The vaccine does not contain fetal fragments, neither does the vaccine change your DNA. I'll explain more later.
This is the packaging of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. Home in on this here. This is the COVID-19 vaccine. Claire's just going to pull this up for you. This number, okay, it's called ChAd, whatever that is, 0 or whatever it is, times 1.
It's ChAdOx-1. The name comes from chimpanzee, adenovirus, and Oxford University, who developed the vaccine.
19 vaccine. So Claire, go to the next one. Just wait 1 second, guys. Okay, so then you're going to go to researchsquare.com.
The article they found on researchsquare.com is not about development of the vaccine at Oxford. Instead, it's an article by a team at Bristol University, who ran tests on the vaccine to check its effectiveness on laboratory cultured cells. So, to recap, this research paper they refer to is about testing the vaccine, not making it.
It's really important, people. The reason we're doing these videos is because I want you to learn to do your own research. Don't rely on us or anybody else. Do it yourself.
No, I would not rely on you. And yes, I did do my own research, which is why I am doing this video.
So we look up this ChAd 0 times 1 COVID-19. And the first thing, before we go to what I bring there, is I'm looking and I'm thinking, oh, what's recombinant? What does that even mean? So I asked the new and I asked them, and everyone's like, gosh, don't know. So this is what you need to do. You need to Google every single word on here. Don't skip by it thinking, oh, that's science, don't understand.
I don't know about you, but I'd find it hard to trust anyone's opinion when they have no knowledge of the things they're trying to explain.
So Claire, let's look up this word on Wikipedia, and straight away there you see it. Recombinant, it's DNA. Our DNA molecules formed by laboratory methods of genetic recombination, such as molecular cloning, to bring together genetic material from multiple sources, creating sequences that would not otherwise be found in the genome.
Yes, ChAdOx-1 is a recombinant vaccine, and the information from Wikipedia is correct. However, our detectives have come to the wrong conclusions. The vaccine was made using a chimpanzee adenovirus, a type of common cold that can also affect humans. The Oxford scientists took the virus and removed a chunk of DNA. This prevents it from being active or causing any illness. They then added a small piece of genetic code from the coronavirus. So it's only a virus, and not any human cells, that have been genetically altered.
Okay, you do that research yourself. But my point is, again, it's right in front of your face that this stuff is in this vaccine. So they can call us crazies and terrible hosts that spread terrible fear-mongering things.
I'll let others decide whether you are crazy or not. But you are ill-informed and your hysteria is most definitely fear-mongering.
They're putting it right in front of your face. Claire, go back to that thing again. So what we're asking you to do is do your own research. Okay, we've started it off for you. So back to this number. That means that AstraZeneca package I just showed you, this is their vaccine. And as they go down, again, we use direct RNA sequencing to analyze transcript expression from the ChAd, let's call it the ChAd vaccine, genome in human MRC5. So you think to yourself, oh, let's skip past that, a little bit complicated, must be a bit scientific. No. Look it up. And what do we find, Claire, when we look that up? MRC5.
Oh, please, don't keep shouting.
Developed from research deriving lung tissue of a 14-week-old aborted Caucasian male fetus.
Remember, this is one study by Bristol University. They did test the vaccine on human fetal cells from the MRC5 cell line. However, Oxford University never used any human cell lines to develop the vaccine. Later on I will make further comment about fetal cells, because I can see that this does raise some moral questions.
There you have it, peeps. This COVID-19 vaccine that everybody is saying is going to save the world has a truckload of shit in it, but one thing it definitely has is the lung tissue of a 14-week-old aborted Caucasian male fetus.
That's been replicated over and over and over again for a long time.
So, you send this to every single Christian-loving pro-life person. Forget the vaccine issue. Is everybody okay with having that injected into themselves or their children? It's utterly disgusting. So you share this, and I'm just going to leave one more, so you're going to see one more thing before we go.
This is from the MHRA, or Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency.
This is what they want. I put this on our social media, you can go and look at it. They're urgently seeking an artificial intelligence software tool to process the expected high volume of COVID-19 vaccine adverse drug reactions.
Why is this so alarming? The COVID-19 vaccination program will be on an unprecedented scale, millions of inoculations over the next few months. Most adverse reactions will be minor, perhaps a sore arm or headache, but there may be some more serious issues in rare cases. There will be constant monitoring of reported side effects. However, the MRHA realize the scale of this task and want to use artificial intelligence to assist. Otherwise, human error may fail to detect any problems that haven't already been discovered. It should be comforting to know that the MRHA wish to ensure that every possible precaution is being taken to constantly check for unknown risks.
They know that this vaccine is going to hurt people or kill people so badly. People, it's in front of your face.
We'll leave our ladies here, but a little more about fetal tissue. There are many cell lines that do originate from fetal material, but none were used to develop the vaccine. However, AstraZeneca do use a cell line to manufacture it. They use cells known as HEK293. All of the fetal cell lines originate from material collected in the 1960s and 70s. There are, of course, moral and ethical questions that arise from this. But I think it is helpful to learn a little more before any judgments are made. No abortions have ever been carried out for the purpose of collecting tissue. They were all elective terminations that would have happened anyway. A small tissue biopsy is taken from the embryo, from which fibroblast cells are extracted. These are non-specialist cells that are found in connective tissue and are associated with healing and repair. It is these fibroblast cells that have been replicating for decades in the laboratory. They are also grown on a commercial scale all around the world. They are sometimes called immortal cells, as they can be grown forever without deteriorating or requiring any new source material. Now, does all this mean that abortion is right? I personally don't think so. However, we have to consider other things. If we refuse to use these cells, because of their historic origins, what would be the consequences? Coronavirus vaccines will save millions of lives, but many more vaccines use these cells for development or manufacture. Rubella, hepatitis A, chickenpox, Ebola and rabies are a few examples. They are also used to manufacture biotherapeutic products for treating cancer, hormonal problems, blood conditions and genetic disorders. Last, but not least, they are used for testing the safety and efficacy of new and existing drugs. If we stop using these cells, we will not bring back the lives of those aborted fetuses. However, if we stop using the cells for vaccines, drug development and testing, we fail to prevent millions of deaths and take away a hope of life for many with serious health conditions. Ethically, is it right to do this either? I don't argue that the end justifies the means, but another way of looking at this is that a great deal of good has come out of the sadness of abortion. What conclusion you come to is not an easy decision to make. But I'll leave that to you and your own conscience. Just keep informed, and please don't rely on social media to shape your opinions. Brought to you by the Thoughtful Sheep.